You know, me and Vocab have talked. We've talked in person. He came to Chicago. I give it to him. He did a seminar at a black church here, right? At this point, his book was already released. So, you know, people sending me screenshots, like, man, you know, this dude got you in your book. So I'm like, oh, no, I ain't going. Then I heard he was coming to Chicago. So, you know, we squadded up. So we showed up at his seminar. We came in there, man, sat right in the front row. He was up there in his little suit preaching. He looked down. I seen him start sweating bullets. We ain't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to do nothing. But afterwards, you know, we went to his little book signing. We talked to him, and we showed him hospitality. We ain't cuss him out and all that. We wind up driving him out to Riverdale to the camp. We turned the cameras on, went live, and you can still find the footage on there. And we basically sat there and dissected him.
Nah, it's more funny to me, but I'm listening.
But okay, I gotta ask you a couple of questions. This ain't about to be no debate, but I gotta have a couple of questions I got to ask you. It just wouldn't be fair to my audience. We all live?
Okay.
Are you recording too, Israel? Yeah, I'm cool. We all live.
All right, but if someone comes, though, I'll talk to them. I'm also gonna get myself upstairs. Go ahead.
I only got 3 questions. I got 3 questions. Like I say, you invited to the camp. You come over there after you through. Or whatever. I seen the situation last night. That was not what I would call proper Israelite hospitality, regardless of how you feel about somebody and their doctrine. So I just want to definitely put a disclaimer on that.
Yeah, I know that's not how you guys get down.
Nah, we don't get down like this. So how did the debate? How did the conversation go out to y'all about that? Because they pretty civil.
They were pretty cool, especially that guy from Good Samaritan.
Yeah,
he was super cool.
Pretty. I deal with Nazariah as far as, you know, our doctrine not the same, but he real civil. They don't do all that.
So we have to go back and forth.
Cool.
Nothing. I don't have nothing negative to say as far as like personally, right? I have nothing negative to say. You know, they're cool guys. I talked to him. In fact, G-Con said probably like 5 times. He was like, man, I'm so glad because we were tired.
It was a relief.
We wasn't about to go over there. I mean, we got out of the Uber to go over there, but we thought about it before we picked up the Uber. Like, man, we can do this. But once we went over there, he just said it again and again. I'm so glad we went over there because that was a much better conversation. If we would have left just the one, it would have been something else. But, so we were all glad if we went over there because it was a breath of fresh air. Now, the GMS guys, somebody saw that, it's like, oh, of course, because they're castaways and have that false doctrine. So, of course, it's a breath of fresh air. But it wasn't about their doctrine per se. It was about their demeanor. You know, we could talk to them, and they're pretty cool.
Man, look, even in the scriptures, you're supposed to be peaceful with all men, even if it's somebody who you consider your enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, watch this, though, right? I like to ask.
I'm listening.
Okay. You know, I was listening to your seminar earlier, and I was paying attention.
I saw you look like you were. You got there pretty much just in time.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with it. I've seen a couple of them, to be honest with you. And you know, it was one thing you said you told me to get to later, but you brought up how the Bible is not basically an ethnic detective, if you want to say it. You know, for lack of a better word.
That's not a key purpose or intention of it. Yeah.
I got you. Okay, so I got a question for you. I'd like to ask you from our audience side. Is Christ's return predicated in some sort on the conditions and positions of the Israelites and the state of Israel?
You're saying, does it matter how national ethnic Israel is being before Christ comes back?
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, there's times and seasons that are going to be fulfilled before the Lord returns, of course. So there's these ideas of times of the Gentiles. There's ideas of things I think that are going to happen in the church.
Right.
I mean, but God's got his timetable no matter what. It depends what you mean by that. Here's probably one big difference. I don't look at even national Israel, so I'm not a dispensationalist. I don't look at them as a centerpiece in God's program anymore. I look at the church as a centerpiece in God's program. So it really more has to do with the church and what's going on. Like how much tribulation they're going to endure. When the full number, or the complete number comes in, you know, that's a scripture verse I would look to. It's just when the fullness, you know, there's ideas of like all who are elect once they're saved. And I believe that may entail a regathering of some sort, of people recognizing Jesus as Messiah, because I think that's probably most likely what it says when it says all Israel be saved.
Right.
It seems like that entails perhaps some kind of end-time revival among ethnic Israelites. But by and large, those being simply grafted into the organism of the church are not doing some Israeli national ethnic thing. So sometimes people will call me a replacement theologian. I don't view it as replacement theology. I view it as progressive covenantalism, meaning the covenants are not all identical to each other. Yeah, so I would say it's more predicated upon God's plan for the church primarily versus what ethnic Israel over there in the Middle East needs to really do. That'd be my. I don't know if that makes sense.
So you're not okay. So to somebody that's just listening, they would probably take what you just said as natural Israel is irrelevant as it compares to the spiritual Israel side.
Yes, except now
I just got two questions.
Yeah, no, that's a good summary of it. So I'm not disagreeing per se. However, I would always add the caveat that so Christians disagree on this. Now, if you talk to the dispensationalists, like for example, Moody, where I was, it's found in the Bible. Dispensationalists, they would have a high value on what national Israel does or doesn't do. Right? I wouldn't have that same kind of view because I would have more of a covenant view, although not identical with, say, like a Presbyterian view. But within that being said, even Christians who have a covenant view, there's some disagreement about when it says all Israel was saved, what exactly does it mean? Some people just say that means the full number of the church, and I respect that interpretation of Christians, Jew and Gentile alike. Other people see that there's some kind of it seems like perhaps end times national gathering. What doesn't mean national? But ethnic Jews timetable. So there's some relevance to God's timetable, but by and large, national ethnic Israel, by and large, I would say it is irrelevant. Yes, by and large.
All right, okay, that's cool. So let me ask you, do you believe, for the most part, the people who claim to be Jews in Israel are exactly biblical Jews? Biblical Jews. We're talking about ethnic Jews.
They ain't biblical Jews because they ain't do what the Bible says.
Well, I mean, as far as genealogy.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying.
Do you think that they are that?
Well, so who is in Israel today? If you mean the actual who's in the physical land, or do you mean people wherever?
I'm talking about physically in Israel. And I also know about the converts. Right. We're not talking about the converts. We're talking about, for example, the Kohen. The Kohen who would consider themselves the priests and related to the ancient Levites. Would you say that their claim is, for the most part, true?
So, of course, every person's got individual cases, but from what I can tell, most people
just from what you believe.
From what I understand, most folks who have some kind of modern identification of being an ethnic Jew or ethnic Israelite, as far as saying over there in Israel, I think there's a lot of truth to some of the bloodline evidence, but because of dispersion, I think we should all recognize that doesn't mean they would be genetically similar to first century Jews. I doubt. Now, it's possible there's some diversity within ancient Israel, but it seems, the problem is, I feel like these questions are not bad, but the problem is, I feel like because of, it involves a lot of speculation, I feel like, that a person to answer truthfully or honestly. Like, I doubt you had a whole bunch of dudes looking like a Woody Allen, for example, in first century Israel. Right. But I think first century Israel probably look like closer to what the Jews who stayed in that general region look like. So, for example, there's only like 500 left, I think, but the Yemeni Jews. Yeah, the Yemeni Jews. It seems highly likely that's a much closer, probably ethnic representation. Now, they have, to an extent, from what I can gather, been what you might call Arabicized to an extent. So, still, I don't think that's identical.
They're a lot darker than a lot of them.
Yeah, they are, because it's almost like this pass through Eastern Europe, they leave looking a little bit more like Eastern European. So remember, I hold it seems the Limba have some validity to their claims. The Limba look a lot more like their African neighbors, and yet they have genetic markers that match up with white European looking Jews. To me, that's bizarre, and I can't write off as a coincidence. Now, to me, it's not all that relevant.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll stop.
Now, okay, so now if you predicate this on DNA, would that mean
just partial?
Just partial.
Yeah.
Okay.
And evidence, not
so would part of your evidence be the Bible? Or is that just a non-factor to decide
Depends what you mean by that. If you mean to determine someone's ethnic lineage,
yes. No, the Jews. We're dealing with just the Israelites right now.
right. Well, it depends.
Which group though?
Well,
You talking about, because remember I've said all the time, there's actually two people claiming to be physically Israel.
Oh yeah.
So which group?
But see, that's what I was gonna get on with the DNA. Because
Okay.
if you do the look, this is my thing. If you did, I don't know if you ever dealt with this before. See, you're dealing with some different kind of Israelites.
Right.
I wish that could have been said at your thing.
this is a sermon. It wasn't a
I know he
round.
wasn't
Right,
ready
it was
for that.
sermon,
He
right,
wasn't
right.
ready for that. You know what I mean?
What?
But I'm just
Pastor doesn't
saying.
need to
No,
say-
I know what you're saying now. But what I'm saying is, like, if you come from a DNA standpoint, in which I don't put much stock in.
In part, I do think it's
I don't put much stock in. But for those who do, then you have to look at the broader spectrum of it, right? Now, you brought up the Lemba tribe. Now, what's funny is, to one looking on the outside, when they seen that, like, you made the statement that how close their DNA is to European Jews.
No, those certain markers.
Certain marks.
It's weird. They look so radically different.
They look
and yet
radically different.
Have these
Now, let me
markers,
ask you a question.
and yet they're dispersed amongst the world. That I don't think that can be equated.
But do you know that can also be taken? That can also be taken from the standpoint of Esau and Jacob. Okay. Well, being that Esau and Jacob literally
brothers.
would share the same DNA.
Yeah.
They was twin brothers.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't have anything to say that they looked alike. For example,
we
if you
do
use
have
that.
some. So Josephus says they were identical twins.
Now I've heard
so
Josephus say it.
save the hairiness. And the
Okay.
Bible seems to indicate that is the case about some highly, because remember, what did Jacob have to do to make Pops think he was
He
Esau?
put on animal fur.
Yeah, he had to smell a certain way. Now this has to do with what you're doing, right? And he had to get hairy.
Yeah. Well, Elijah was hairy too, so I really don't.
No, but I'm just
put
saying,
stock on
it seems like they would have. It seems like they looked alike.
Okay, so we don't know.
He was dealing with the eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
No, but
And I mean,
he
it'd
saw them
be
when
easier
they
to
were
fool them
born.
if they looked similar.
Yeah.
He saw him when he was born.
Yeah. They saw them when they was born.
Okay,
We know one.
so this is my last question. I ain't gonna hold you up too long. We can really get it in at the when we go out there. But this is something that people really want to know. I know they will. I wrote these down, but I know how my audience think. First of all, I like to make one statement for the audience because I keep hearing this being brought up. I just heard you kind of hint around it during your seminar, Vocab. But there's a misconception that Josephus said that, and you didn't say this per words, but I've heard other apologists say it, and it's a straight out historical fallacy. That Josephus said that the Israelites went into Egypt by ships. Josephus never said that. I have every recording of it. Josephus said the Israelites went into Rome by ships, but they went into Egypt as slaves. He never once said that they went into Egypt by ships. So now that will cause a problem for somebody saying that Egypt is not a symbolic Egypt. Now, see, it can go both ways because he never once said that. People use this. So I just had to put that out there from a historical standpoint that, yes, Josephus said Israelites went into Egypt as slaves. He never said by ships. He said they went into Rome by ships. So unless they believe Rome was symbolic for Egypt, then now they got the same problem that they say the Israelites create. So I want to bring that up. But let me say this one point.
Why would they create a problem?
I'm sorry, I don't want to.
You guys getting out of here?
Yeah. So this is my last one.
I hear you, but I don't agree they would create a
Don't
problem for someone who says. Well, you said they would create a problem for someone who says Egypt's not symbolic of Mary, because let's say what you're saying is precise. Now the exact quote I
don't believe
it's
Egypt.
and as for the rest of the multitude that were above 17 years old, he put them in bonds and sent them to Egyptian mines. There's at least slavery given. Josephus says they are going to slavery. Now the means of transportation is simply not mentioned.
Yeah.
So it doesn't preclude or exclude ships, right? It's
Right.
not mentioned.
But I just want to make that clear because
Right.
people actually use this and they actually think it says that they went into Egypt with ships when it never says it. So that's all
When
I
the
wanna
Bible
clarify.
clearly shows
I'm
that
a
they
historian.
walked out of Egypt and walked back and
That's
forth
a
between the
discrepancy.
land.
So I'm saying,
Well, so
reason
here's
I brought
another
that
thing
up,
from the
okay.
Wars of the
Let
Jews.
me say this, okay.
I got
The
Josephus
reason
right
I
here.
brought this
Yeah.
up is because I got a lot of Josephus rights. But I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I don't take Josephus as he got some suspect stuff too. Like even if you look at it, right?
Yeah, he's simply doing history. Doesn't mean he's always accurate.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's not canon or anything like that.
There you go. That was the perfect.
Thank you, sir. Sorry about that.
So are you coming?
If you guys give me a way over there,
Yeah,
I just need to. There's food over there.
It's always food, man. That's
There's
always
food. I can find food over there.
Yeah, man. It's real.
All right.
It's real eat, man.
It's cool to go.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Some days, you know, that interference is hectic downtown. The buildings and, you know, the time of the day, the weather, all that factors.
Yeah, so we just rolling now, y'all.
I'm just texting G kind of real quick. I might even call him. Tell him what's going on.
Tell him you riding with Carl. He don't want to get lost nowhere. I left with Carl.
Yeah. He would have come, but I think he got to leave a little bit sooner than he wanted. Let's give him a call.
Yeah.
See what he says.
Yeah, I'm a Carl, man. If I come up missing, tell me.
I'll put him on.
What was your hotel letter or whatever? Yeah, I mean, you know, you ain't got to say it out loud to him.
G consciousness. I'm in the car with Carl, and I didn't catch you.
Nearby Israel.
Okay, I did. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I just forgot it. My apologies. Hey, you want to go on speakerphone, talk to these guys real quick? Well, you know Carl. Here you go. Here's the run, man.
What up, yeah, what up? G, what up,
What's
man?
going on, brother? How the family?
Yeah, Vocab was telling a little bit about the story, how y'all was surrounded by them Hebrew Israelites.
This was GMS or I
This is GMS.
Okay.
Yeah, GMS is down there tripping, man, but otherwise, it was cool. It was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
But we had a better conversation with those other guys. Israel Tried and Refined, it was called.
Oh, that's GMS. They broke off.
They were a lot more like respectable.
Yeah, they came to our camp and sat down and chopped it up a little bit. We ran them out.
You already drive out? Are you already driving?
Yeah, I'm driving right. I just left out of Bolingbrook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he on
You know,
55.
I'll be coming up there every weekend, so I'm gonna definitely start taking my 34 up there and probably start getting into some of them other camps down there and talking with them. I like that conversation with that second camp.
Yeah.
GMS or whatever. I had talked to a couple people, and they was like, the next time I go down there with them or whatever. So,
And y'all were downtown. What location was it? The one on State Street?
State and Adams in front of
Oh
CVS.
yeah, CVS. Yeah.
And then the other address was 333 South State. It was like just a little bit. It wasn't that far from the first one, basically.
Gotcha.
We thought we were going to be able to go to more, but we didn't realize how bad parking and driving and all that stuff was in Chicago. So we only got to go see two camps.
Yeah.
But it was good to see you guys, man. That was cool. And hey, thanks for that Uber help this morning. Much love on that. And I'm gonna go see Sister Cherry, but right now I'm going to the Vendorama in Riverdale. We talked about.
Oh, G.
man. I wish I could have stayed, man, but I was calling you and telling you was coming down a little bit earlier, man. I really with you, but it's cool, though.
Yeah, we didn't even know you were coming.
My family didn't even know I was coming.
Oh, okay.
They seen me that morning, was like, oh, you made it. I was like, I ain't finna miss this. Cause actually this one of my nieces, she came down to the lecture at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I remember quite a few of your family was there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Family and friends. Yeah.
So she been there for me, and you know, like I told people, she was one of the ones whenever she see me, I don't know about other people, but she run up on me, hug me, and you know, show love. So I had to be there, show my respect.
Okay, when you supposed to leave now? You Monday morning?
Yes, sir.
So we shooting out the Riverdale, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
DJ?
We in Chicago making things happen just on the whim. Didn't nobody know The other one's gonna be here or whatever. So it is what it is, you know.
I've seen you on there.
When you can make moves, make
Tell them when I'm
moves.
leaving.
You know.
I'm down to do something Sunday night. I don't
Peace
know
when it's peace, love when it's
if gonna be
love,
with Kyle.
war when it's
I
war
know
if
I'm gonna
need
with
be.
Cherry, though,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
I'm down if he's down. I guess I'm down, but obviously I don't have transportation, so it's up to him.
So we gonna say peace, y'all. Y'all need to hear everything going on. Just know we riding and we headed towards the Israel of God. We out.
What's up? Peace, everybody. Shalom, shalom. You know, so we up here chilling. Of course, we chilling with the almost infamous in the Hebrew Israelite community, Vocab Malone. There it is right there.